Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm gonna make banana cake or banana bread whilst I talk about how it feels and how it was and my experiences with wearing the niqab in the West and covering in general. The camera's stressing me out, I'm not focusing on that anymore. Okay, I'm mashing it now. Right before I turned 15, I began wearing the niqab, but not because I thought it was obligatory, just because I liked the feeling of being mysterious and unknown, and also because at the time I thought it was a sunnah. When I began studying the deen in more depth, that I came to the conclusion that, oh, actually, I believe it's wajib. I remember my first time putting it on, but at the time I used to live in a very white-dominated area. And I remember I was so scared the first time, and I was only ever wearing the half niqab at first. And as time went on, it's true, you do get more comfortable. I don't think wearing the niqab will ever be easy. Like, the first time for anybody will be hard because it's an intimidating experience at first. You're scared of the reactions you're going to get. You're scared of how people are going to judge you. But with time, you will find that you can no longer take it off. It just becomes like part of you. I enjoyed it so much at one point, and you do get comfortable. You get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You become comfortable with the stares. Maybe sometimes you'll get comments, but you'll just get comfortable with that because you can control the amount other people get to see. Diabetes. In the West, I feel like it's interesting. I feel like the racism got worse as time went on, because I remember in the very beginning, there was an experience I had where I was in London, and some white young men, I would say, they started complimenting my wear, like saying it was cool, and it helped me settle a little bit. As time went on, my experience, I couldn't say, got a little bit worse. People gave me more stares, or they would say things on the streets. But you know, I feel like this video, people expect it to be negative. Can I be honest? The West, and I feel like a lot of people will disagree with me on this, but the West is so diverse and provides so many opportunities, and it protects our rights and our religious rights and freedom of expression as well. So seeing that I wanted to express myself in such a way, you know, a lot of people have this stereotype that it would be very, very horrible. And I don't want to say it's not horrible. You know, for some sisters it is, because I had a friend of a friend who almost got pushed down a underground, like under a subway or underground train. So, you know, there's stuff like this where it is scary and the experiences are bad. So I don't want to say that doesn't happen, because it does. And I've also had people be quite like horrible to me as well. But overall, my experience was good actually as a niqabi in the West. I cannot say this with like in the Balkans. If I was to go in the Balkans just like this, unless you have a mahram with you that's willing to punch anybody in the face that can be a threat to me or to you, unless you have a mahram to do that, it's so much worse. And this is what I really like about the West. The West does provide this space for us Muslims to be able to practice properly. Although there is this clash sometimes where you'll have people who don't want us to dress this way. There's always going to be problems like this. You know, you also have Muslims that clash with the Western or English laws. In the same way, for them, their English values will clash with our Islamic values. So you'll never be able to escape this. It's everywhere. But I think that experience becomes better once you understand that you need to respect the laws of the land. And so let me just explain this in a bit more depth. I remember a few years back, a lot of sisters were protesting against England and wanting to make it an Islamic state. It gave us a bad image. You know, alhamdulillah, they accepted us in their country. They allowed us to, they allowed our religious rights to be protected. They allow us to practice freely, because there's no ban on mosques. There's no ban on niqab like there is in Belgium, for example. There's no ban on these things. We tend to overlook the privileges we have in this country. And I think once you familiarize yourself with this and also acknowledge that, okay, we need to respect these lands, our experience as niqabis and as Muslims, it becomes easier. And this is something a lot of Muslims need to get used to, is that if you do not like the country you live in, leave. The country must not change for a minority, because us Muslims, we are a minority, and the English values were not built upon Muslim values. So we need to also get comfortable with the idea that if we don't like where we're living and we have a problem, we should leave. So I think that's why my experience was a bit easier. We cannot demand respect when we do not respect them. Do you get what I'm saying? When people are protesting for making an Islamic state in the UK, and then you're demanding them to respect us, absolutely not. We're living on their country right now. We're living in their country. If you don't want to do that, your life as a Muslim becomes so much harder. I was working and I worked in full niqab. Where I was working, I couldn't have it on all the time, so we compromised. I talked to them because they have to. They're obligated by the laws to respect my religion, and I'm also obligated to respect the workplace. So therefore we worked and we cooperated together and we made it work. When you constantly demand something and you demand something to be a certain way, you're not going to get anywhere. And if you want it that certain way, move out of the country. If you want an easier life as a Muslim and you really, really believe in your hardcore values, move out of this country and do hijrah, as it's upon you as a Muslim to do hijrah. And don't beef with the UK citizens over here. Obviously, there's going to be some people who are not, because they have this stereotype, and we also need to be mindful of where did these stereotypes come from. We need to work together to kind of reverse these stereotypes so that they know, well, we don't live by these stereotypes, but also there are some people who make it quite evident that those stereotypes need to be there. I hope you guys know what I'm getting at. But anyway, back to my experience as a niqabi. It wasn't actually that hard. I'm not gonna lie, I think a lot of people were waiting me to say it's horrible, it's so hard. No, it's not. It's actually not. It's actually amazing in the West when you're wearing niqab. And I think it's even better when you make hijrah, because there it's easier to live up to your Islamic standards. Because in the UK, some of our values are considered weird and foreign to them, and completely rightfully so, because their country is built on different foundations compared to an Islamic country. And I guess that's like the bottom line. I mean, the video isn't that interesting, to be fair. I'm gonna quickly put this to bake now, and I'm gonna show you guys off. Okay guys, I was so immersed in the topic of today's discussion that I forgot to grease my Dutch oven. I forgot to add baking soda. I'm gonna quickly give this a taste test. It's banana cake. Bye.